So, as I was browsing the internet, trying to get as much information as I can to kind of bring you guys some of the most updated information on the A-129 CBT, or as it's really known as the A-129 Mangusta, I found myself kind of shocked to see the lack of content for this helicopter, and I was wondering, how come no one is really talking about this? So, taking the time to play the vehicle, it really dawned on me as to why not many people are actually talking about this fairly unique helicopter, and I'm going to try to outline as much as I can about its pros and cons in today's video, which is more or less going to be a talking head video. So, looking a little further into the A-129 CBT, this helicopter comes in as the top lineup vehicle for the Italian helicopter tree and does feature quite a bit of things that really make it stand out over other helicopters at its own battle rating, especially when it sits at battle rating 9.7. In fact, one of the biggest unique things of this helicopter would have to be the fact that it can carry not only Mistrals or Stingers, but it also carries Hellfires. Now, there is a little bit of a limitation to that. In my opinion, it's something that's really much welcome for its own battle rating, because imagine having a helicopter at battle rating 9.7 carrying more than 8 Hellfires. Now, in a full down tier, that's just pretty much asking for a lot of trouble, but thankfully, it can carry only up to 4 if you want to carry 2 air-to-air missiles, but that's probably one of the downsides of this vehicle itself, especially something that is to be touted as the top-tier Italian helicopter. Though, when it comes to having that title, there are several features of this helicopter that are missing, and in my opinion is incredibly crucial to the overall performance of this helicopter. Now, helicopters have 2 modes of defense. They have air-to-air missiles as the start. Now, you do have 2 types of missiles. You have the Stingers and the Mistrals, and if you're familiar with any of the AIM-9Bs, they pretty much act the same, except that these are less susceptible to being intercepted by flares, whereas the AIM-9Bs and everything else above that pretty much are, but not here. Now, that's the first mode of defense. The second mode of defense is that chin-mounted gun. Now, this features a 20mm over that 12.7 found on the premium version, but you do not have a ballistic computer. That's right. Now, ballistic computers on helicopters basically track other helicopters and aircraft and lay lock onto them and draw enough lead to engage that vehicle as their last mode of defense. However, it's not featured in this vehicle at all, even though it does have a decent 20mm mounted with about 23mm base pen stock belt. So you don't have any other belt other than default, which is an absolute shame. So no APs, no HVAPs, etc. It really makes for a very terrible experience when you're trying to manually guide that gun to destroy other aircraft. Now, that may be seen as a balancing factor, but when it comes to having other top-tier helicopters, the Apaches, the Tiger Haps, etc., even the UHT, where actually, I guess not the UHT, we won't talk about that, but you have other helicopters that have that ballistic computer, including the premium version of this helicopter. Granted, it is a 12.7mm. It kind of makes you wonder how screwed you really are if an aircraft gets past your air-to-air missile, which have, what, a 20% hit rate, depending on how you shoot them, I guess. So it really comes down to its other performances as a helicopter at its own battle rating, seeing that it can get up to 8 Hellfires, but you trade off your air-to-air missiles, and not having that ballistic computer as your final defense really makes for a terrible experience. Now, is this helicopter really worth all the grind that it is to take out the A-129, using that premium vehicle, going into heli EC? Pretty poor excuse of a lineup, especially for its own battle rating, because you only have 1 MBT and 1 light tank to really put in all the work, though it really does come down to your own personal play style.
So here we are with the A-129 International, an Italian helicopter that, at 9.7 really feels like it's way out of its BR. This is, as far as I can see, a 9.0, maybe 9.3 helicopter, because it's got little to no defensive capabilities, and it's got good ground strike capabilities, but it's lacking everything in airstrike capabilities.